Hello everyone! Today we'll be once again diving headfirst into the action of the new shonen sensation, Kaiju No. 8. In a world filled with huge monsters known as Kaiju, Kafka, our protagonist and a half Kaiju himself, struggles to find his place in the world as numerous challenges stand between him and his dream of standing at the battlefield alongside his childhood friend, Ashiro Mina, who has made a name for herself by slaying hundreds of Kaiju as the captain of the frontrunners of the defense force. As we dive into this horrific world where people don't know when they will be attacked by deadly monsters, we'll follow Kafka's journey as he climbs up the defense force ladder to reach his dear friend's rank while doing his best to hide his secret from everyone. So, let's get into it right away! Continuing from before, Kafka secretly turned into a Kaiju during the last exam and saved everyone from danger. The exam ended after that, and the students now await the results. Just before the results arrive, Kafka can be seen acting like a wuss and disappointing Ichikawa with his attitude. The results arrive and we see that Ichikawa has passed. Kafka's fate still hangs in the balance as we see only Ichikawa attending the defense force orientation. Numerous promising candidates have passed, including a cheerful guy named Furuhashi Iharu. He greets Ichikawa and asks about Kafka's results. However, before Ichikawa can answer, Mina arrives at the scene and everyone assembles in front of their commanding officer. Mina calls Shinomiya on the stage on behalf of the new recruits to say some words. After the formalities, she thanks her for everything she did to kill the Kaiju from before. Shinomiya doesn't like how she has been getting credit for something that Kafka did. As she's wondering where Kafka is, he arrives on the scene in the Defense Force uniform and joins everyone. We go into flashback mode and see that the superiors of the Defense Force are discussing Kafka's case. Officially, he has failed. But Hoshina makes a valid argument when he claims that he actually helped identify the weaknesses of Kaiju and made sure to support everyone instead of caring about his own kill count. And so, they can use a character like that in this force. He also asserts how he's the butt of every joke, and that makes him a fun guy to be around. He volunteers to take him under his wing as a cadet and train him, and so Kafka has joined the team as well now. Back to the present, Mina gives a motivational speech, claiming that she will always be leading from the front. Seeing Mina like that gets Kafka excited and he blurts out some embarrassing stuff about standing by her side. Everyone in the room starts laughing at him while Mina gives him a punishment of doing 100 push-ups. However, Hoshina notices that she's secretly smiling. Kafka barely gets the push-ups done, and it's on to his next task right away as Shinomiya takes him outside for some one-on-one talk. After dealing with everybody's misunderstandings, Kafka and Ichikawa reveal to her in a cafe the whole Kaiju situation. After Mina is done questioning how he ate a Kaiju in the first place, she tells him that if he ever tells the defense force, he will either be immediately killed or subjected to experiments and inquiries for the remainder of his life. She then threatens to kill him if he ever becomes a threat to humanity. We cut to the training exercises and the recruits have developed rivalries amongst themselves to push each other past their limits. Kafka is also flexing on Shinomiya after activating 1% of his suit's powers. The other top candidates are doing the same while Shinomiya stays on top. Later in the bathtub, the boys are having a debate on who has bigger muscles. Kafka chips in and shows his ripped back, only for his fat tummy to be revealed instead. Everybody laughs at him and they all share some wholesome moments in the girls' bathing room, in which most of you viewers would be more interested. We see Shinomiya admiring Mina's muscles and body shape. When she stares at her for too long, Mina asks her if she has a question. She then asks her to show her training regimen she uses to build her physique. Once again, cutting back to the men's room, everybody starts talking about why they joined the defense force. Most of their reasons turn out to be inspiration from Ashiro Mina. When they get to Kafka, he casually reveals his connection to Mina. Everybody starts getting excited and asks him about every single detail about her. They spend so much time in the warm bath that they all get a heat stroke, which Shinomiya claims is a pretty stupid thing to do. The days continue as the recruits bond with each other over the course of days and months. training together, eating together, and having wholesome moments together as well. One day, when everybody's sleeping, Kafka is seen in the library studying. Hoshina walks in on him and tells him to rest up. He also starts asking him about the story he told everyone about Mina. He thinks that Kafka has just challenged him for his vice captain spot. Kafka stutters a bit, but then he says that yes, he will definitely be coming for that spot sooner or later. That's why he's working extra hard. But as soon as Hoshina is about to leave, the alarm rings and it's time for some kaiju action. Everybody wakes up and gets ready to go into battle immediately. Mina and the other superior officers go over the details of the operation as they monitor the movement patterns of the kaiju. Turns out, numerous small kaiju surround the bigger one. Mina tells them that she'll take on the main boss with her unit, while the rest of them will handle the others. The new recruits are also joining the mission, and they all prepare to fight for their lives in the upcoming encounter. When they get to the combat area, the new recruits working directly under Hoshina get into positions and are briefed about their role. Their job is to hold down the last line of defense and make sure any kaiju that escapes from the frontliners is dealt with. Everybody is pumped, and as they all wish each other good luck, they are ready to take on their first mission. However, despite all that morale boost, Kafka makes a rookie mistake right at the beginning. This leads to the veterans looking down on the recruits as they don't want to babysit. The rest of the team gets angry and starts absolutely destroying the kaiju coming towards them. Shinomiya, Ichikawa, and Furuhashi stand out, while the other top students are performing really well as well. They are all still pushing each other even on this real-time mission. Ichikawa is even more motivated than usual because he doesn't want to force Kafka to transform. Kafka sees everybody performing well and wants to contribute as well, so he examines the corpse of each one of the dead kaiju and finds its weak point. He also points out that the kaiju have reproductive organs as well, so they'll all respawn once the reproductive organs are activated. This is very useful information, and Hoshina sees to it that it is delivered to everyone on the battlefield. He praises Kafka for his quick thinking and usefulness in this fight. Kafka then decides to destroy the reproductive organs of the dead kaiju. But now that the side characters have had their shine, it's time for the hot chick to show us what she's capable of.
Kafka-kun, これが今の私。
The target is locked in for Mina. She grabs her sniping rifle, releases 96% of her power suit, and absolutely murders the enormous kaiju in just 2 shots. But to show off for Kafka, she decides to go overboard and hits him with 3 more shots for the overkill. Hoshina arrives at the scene as Kafka is fanboying over her. He tells her that he needs to be at least that capable to stand by her side. When Kafka jokes about how capable Hoshina himself is, he claims that he's not suited to long-range fighting like that. But when it comes to smaller kaiju and close-quarter combat, he's even better than Mina herself. He flexes all this as he cuts up a kaiju sneaking up on him at super speed. As he makes a remark about how the captain and vice captain are the strongest people in the team, the whole thing motivates Kafka to get stronger and fulfill his promise to her. Now that the big one is down, the real job starts. Numerous small kaiju come out of its body and start attacking the city. The new recruits are tired from all this fighting, and the veterans take up this chance to finally flex their stamina and endurance. However, the newbies don't want to get left behind and join the battle once again. As Hoshina contacts the control room, he makes a general assessment of everybody's combat abilities. He knows that there are some exceptional talents in this new bunch of recruits, but the average power everybody is extracting from their suits is higher than usual as well. It looks like they are all motivating each other to improve. He points out that currently only Shinomiya has the ability to become a captain in the future, but he has his bets on Ichikawa too, because of the improvement he has shown in such a short span of time. Speaking of Ichikawa, as he and Furuhashi are scouting the area, they see a man in the cleaning team costume inspecting the remains of the dead kaijus. The man is disappointed because he had planted reproductive organs in all these kaiju, but they seem to have failed, thanks to some annoying person's knowledge. He turns around and gives the 2 newbies a threatening look as we find out that it's the same kaiju from before, the one who attacked during the exam. The boys, however, do not realize this and still try to help him get out of there. The kaiju then reveals himself and shoots Furuhashi in the heart. Ichikawa senses the attack and helps him get out of harm's way. The kaiju claims that he can't properly aim in this form. Ichikawa immediately deduces that this must be the kaiju from the exams. The kaiju then shoots some invisible bullets from its fingers, but Ichikawa avoids it thanks to some earlier guidance by Shinomiya. The boys are completely outclassed by the kaiju's abilities, but they still try to fight back, as that is the only option they have. The kaiju blocks communication throughout the area, rendering the two unable to call for backup. Furuhashi is in no condition to fight, but Ichikawa protects him and tells him to go and get backup. Ichikawa keeps up the fight and starts fighting the kaiju on his own, while Furuhashi runs for his life. However, he feels extremely disappointed in himself for running away. He gets flashbacks to the time that Mina saved her and wonders how Ichikawa got so far ahead of him so easily. On Ichikawa's end, he's fighting for his life, following in his senpai's footsteps of always putting others first. Just as the kaiju gets serious and conjures up a new attack, Ichikawa is saved by Furuhashi. He has come running back to save his friend. The kaiju reveals that it was futile to run anyway, since no one can get out of the perimeter without his permission. The two of them then decide to fight together and take him down. Furuhashi tells him that he can only provide an opening as he's in no condition to fight. He shoots some electric bullets and paralyzes the kaiju. This provides Ichikawa the opening to nail the kaiju with as many bullets as he possibly can. But futile efforts are futile in the end. The kaiju tanks everything and is more than alright after Ichikawa's flurry of fires. We now cut to the others as they are informed of losing communication with Ichikawa and Furuhashi. Shinomiya and Kafka figure out that this must be the doing of that humanoid kaiju from the exams. Kafka decides to go help them while the others are still searching. Back to Ichikawa, the kaiju shoots him numerous times and renders him immobile. He's not immediately killing the two because he intends to take a defense force specimen with him for research. Ichikawa is still able to move thanks to the suit's healing capabilities, but the kaiju keeps tormenting him. Furuhashi can only look at this scene helplessly as he's unable to fight. He claims that nothing has changed since the time he was saved and just wants a miracle to save his friend at this point. He tries to do some damage to the kaiju himself, but it has already got used to the paralysis bullets. Just as the kaiju is about to kill Furuhashi, Kafka arrives in his kaiju and punches the daylights out of him. He helps Ichikawa get up and puts him in a better position to heal. Ichikawa is disappointed in himself as this was the outcome he had always wanted to avoid. It's revealed that Kafka talked to Shinomiya before coming here to take care of things on her end. He claims that he can sense the other kaiju, and now that he's located everyone, he's angry now because of what the kaiju has done to his friends and decides to take the matter into his own hands. The fight begins and Kafka absolutely destroys the other kaiju. Unable to keep up with Kafka, the kaiju tries everything in its arsenal, but it simply cannot match Kafka's raw power and speed. Kafka destroys everything it throws at him and exposes his core with his relentless assault, but just as he's about to finish him, the defense force arrives, revealing that the kaiju's barrier was destroyed in the process. The defense force takes care of the wounded while they report seeing Kaiju number 8 in the vicinity. The kaiju runs away and claims that it now has enough data to kill Kafka in their next meeting. The defense force tries to capture Kafka but it runs away, knowing that Ichikawa and Furuhashi are in safe hands. As he lands in a quiet alleyway and thinks that he's out of danger, Hoshina arrives to scare him shitless. He's pissed because he thinks Kafka is the one who hurt his men. He then launches a series of attacks and establishes his authority in the fight as one of the strongest anti-kaiju fighters alive right now. What will happen to Kafka? Will his secret be revealed? Find out in the next video as we cover the rest of the episodes in the next part. See you later. Peace.